Toki.
Toki Roomba. Waar kunnen wij dat doen?
Today we do the capacity training. We do 5 times 1 minute all out. And we have rice for breakfast. Get in your time trial bike and train on the bike. That's my tip. Carbs are important for everything, also for live stream.
Also for life.
Carbs are important for life.
No carbs, no life. Hoeveel jeugdgemeter moet je doen voor een officiële Everest?
8000 zeker of zo, ja, ik weet niet.
Ja. Dat is veel. Dat is heel veel.
If the time trial is in the afternoon, I eat most of the time oats in the morning. But always rice as last meal before the time trial, like 3 hours before the time trial. My target is, I don't know what my target is this year. Before the end of the year, I want 1 million subscribers on YouTube. That's my target. I will do the Tour de Suisse on Saturday, stage 4, I think.
En Everest een sigarenmerk, dat betekent 405 kilometer.
Ben je nog vergeten, ja? En op hoeveel hoogtemeters zeker dan op 40 of op 38?
Op 9000 hoogtemeter, maar we moeten maar 8800 hebben en op 40 hoogtemeters. Ik zal nog even rekenen op 39 hoogtemeters.
Rekent op 38 hoogtemeters.
Maal 2 maal 900 meter. 426 kilometer. Dat is nog veel meer.
En dit is aan de zijkant van de Sigarenberg. Je hebt er een klein straatje, weet je wel. Volgens mij is dat korter. Iets minder hoogtemeters, maar veel korter.
Also dat Je bedoelt dat wegje? Of bedoel je dat wegje? Die nieuwe asfalt of dat met de klinkertjes?
Nee, want met die klinkertjes, ja, dat is wel stijl. Ik bedoel dat links.
Met die asfalt wegje.
Ja. Hoe lang is dat? 600 meter.
Kunnen we daar de communicatie maken?
Maar dat gaat makkelijk zijn. Hoe lang is dat? 1, 5.
Nee, 1 minuut. Ik heb 1 bij wachten. Maar dat is inderdaad wel veel korter.
Who cuts your hair looks good. My man Jeff, Harry Potter we call him. He lives in the broom closet. He lives on Kellogg's also. Kellogg's are life because Kellogg's are sugar.
Sugar is life. Sugar is life.
Sugar is life. Omelette, no omelette before time trial. What you gonna do with protein in a 1 hour time trial? Please let me know what you do with protein in a 1 hour time trial.
Dit is 9000 door.
What does your body do with protein if you are not a bodybuilder?
Ah, 317 kilometer onder.
Op dat zeiltje. En in dat één strotje daar, dat gezegd. Maar daar, we gaan in de kom liggen helemaal op het einde, denk ik. Allee, niet.
Maar dat is een ambetant strotje gaan, maat. Voor naar beneden rijden altijd.
Dat is misschien wel waar, maar dat is wel stijl.
Ja, dat is stijl, dat is op een of andere manier.
Enkel het laatste stukje. Zo, dat bestaat zelfs niet.
Nee. Ik kan er wel gewoon meedoen.
Want dat is eerst helemaal vlak en dat gaat pas zo de laatste 200 meter omhoog.
Ja, ik weet het.
Oh. Takkie takkie.
Dat is heel niet veel, hè. Nog 50 meter of zo. Tegenover de...
Echte?
Ja.
Dat hoogtepunt?
Je bedoelt zo rondrijden de hele tijd. Ja, als je de gewone boot waar wel naar beneden komt, hè, komen. Dat baantje komt daarop uit, hè. Boven.
Ja.
De baantje die je nu aan het kijken bent.
Maar ik wil zeggen, dat baantje loopt in het begin vlak.
Ja, ja, ja. En jij wilt dat in dat baantje doen of wat?
Enkel waar dat berg op loopt.
Dat zal niet uitrekenen.
Huh?
Dat zal ik trouwens niet uitrekenen, maar...
De zijkant, dat is niet, dat is niet.
320 kilometer de rijtuig tot aan het
Takkie takkie. Takkie takkie rumba. elke kaart dan moet je altijd Are there no more questions on YouTube? No? Huh? No more questions on YouTube?
Heb jij nog iets gehoord of zo? De week opgaat?
Niet goed. Wat zou je voorstellen?
Ja, de grootste.
Moet jij koffie hebben?
Die foto gewoon. Ja, dan je denkt van shit. Ik ga remmen, maar het is corona, dus ik kan het niet pakken.
Thermisch deken. Thermisch deken voor als het koud is als we uit de sauna komen.
Wat doet 33 man 33?
Nobody has questions.
De Philip hier.
Philip Lloyd?
Heb jij het gewoon afgezet, die question? Er moet ook iets gezegd worden.
Oei, sorry.
Zie? Taki.
I will try to make a YouTube when Corona is over.
Ik denk dat we de PT-series ook beginnen moeten afwerken.
I take iron of Sanas. Sanas iron. How to manage mentally. Control your breathing. Focus on your breathing. When you're on your FTP, breathing is important. I focus on myself, not on Peter Sagan. He wants to lose weight. He can lose weight. I don't care. Vegan. Vegan is key. If you want to be if you want to be good in endurance sports, you have to be vegan. If you eat meat, you will mess up your stamina.
Fascia.
Your fascia will get blocked. So vegan. Vegan, and carbs. Oeh. Even kijken dat we nu automatisch doen. Today, wat?
Winnaar.
Ja, ja, juist.
Misschien today.
Not yet clear, it depends on the corona rules if you will get together as a team. Ask me this question. One more question.
What is your people? One last question.
What is the last question? Why did I crash in Yorkshire in the Worlds? Because I was taking a lot of risks. Some might say too much, but I say somebody was throwing oil on the road because they knew I was going so fast and I would become world champion. And you always have lovers and haters. Best investment, I don't know. A good position. Invest in a good position. That's cheap
Cheap.
and super efficient.
Zal ik even vet sturen?
How to improve your time trial? Get out and get on your time trial bike, man.
Get off your ass. Pull your finger out of your ass.
Hard work pays off. Sitting at home watching my YouTube videos doesn't make you a good time trialist,
But it helps.
but it helps. And do the fuck what I tell you to do. If you want to become a time trialist, it's hard work. Hard work on the time trial bike. Hard work but smart work. I don't know, because the day beforehand I took the same corner full gas, even faster, without crashing. And the day itself I crashed. I don't know what really happened. Maybe it was a bit wet the day before. It was wet on the day itself. Don't really know what happened over there. Really sad, because I was on the podium 100% sure. Don't want to say it out loud, but I would be before the kid.
Ja, voor je is als journalist dat toch niet oppikken, dus. Dit is gewoon een keer zo'n duur worden. Lang, maar één.
How many weight you can gain on the off season? The question is, how many weight can you lose in the season? If you are good with food and you know you can control yourself. I've once gained 8 kilos in the off season. I was fat at that time. But I had a super good season the year after. First time trial I did was in Tour of Valencia. I crashed and I still was 6th. I was lean. Some people may say I like to crash. Others say I like to do this. I see I get sabotaged a lot. I hate it when people mess with my chances. You don't have to do strength training for your triceps. Also, when you're in your position, you have more tension on your biceps compared to your triceps. If you're sore in your position, you just have to ride more in the position. If I do sugar in my coffee, yes, of course. Do I do a lot of sugar in my coffee? A bit. Sugar and caffeine, the two most performance enhancing drugs that are allowed. Good question. Good question. The slow heel repetition, the slow frequency heel repetitions, I don't believe in them. Because like you say, it's better to do it in the gym with real weights. The torque you put on the pedals is really small compared to weights in the gym. The team is making videos of the time trials in advance, so we can study them before we even see the parkour, and then we do most of the time a recon in the morning, depending on if it's a stage race, yes or no. I do a lot of sugar in my coffee. At this time, normally I'd never do sugar in my coffee, but there will be a vlog coming up. I'm trying a carb-based diet, sugar and carbs, all I have this week. We have a lot of time going to the first race, so there is time to do some tests. Now I only eat carbs and sugars, no fats, no proteins. And see if I get more quality in my trainings. I know it sounds weird, but you have to try stuff. They say you can have maximum 90 grams of sugar in an hour in a race. I have 120 grams of sugar, and I perform better with 120 grams than with 90 grams. So it's always trial and error. I've worked together with a lot of dietists, nutritionists, but I know what I have to do. I know what works for me, and I like to test things. So now I'm more or less doing nutrition myself. No protein, and hopefully I will lose muscle. As you might have seen me, I'm quite muscular, and that's not so useful because every race has some climbing in there. Only when you do the scaled press, but also the scaled press. There are maybe some hills that most of you guys will be dropped in pro peloton on those hills. Every race has hills, and also every time trial has hills, so losing muscles is not really a problem. Muscles will just break down a little bit and get more efficient. With less muscle, you will produce the same power because your muscles are forced to be more efficient. And you might lose some power, but you also lose some weight, so you have to produce less power. I have massive calves, and calves are not really important in your pedal stroke. So if I could choose where to lose muscles, it would be calves would be one of them, the first thing where I would lose muscle. Yeah. Good supplements. Beta-alanine is a good supplement. Creatine is a good supplement if you want to do some explosive, like all out 1 minute all out efforts. En zo beta-alanine, creatine. Ik zal hier even zitten. Get some vitamin D is always important. Depending where you live in the world, but more or less always a good supplement to take. You just need to get used to riding with a high wheel in crosswinds. Envy wheels, they are specially balanced out, so you get more. They are more stable in crosswinds, but still, when you ride a high wheel, they can be like the Envy wheels. They are shaped, so they are super idle, but they don't have too much influence of crosswind. But still, they have a lot of influence when you ride a high wheel. You just need to train a lot with high wheels in wind. People ask me why I train with high deep rims on training and not with normal training wheels. You need to know how to feel in the race. If you never train with high wheels on training and you just put in the high wheels in the race, you will suddenly panic. Thanks, Nate. Dat is waar. Maar als je 30 à 2 minuten rek op je spieren, 30 seconden à 2 minuten rek op je spieren houdt, moet je zelf eens proberen. Als je de dag daarna gaat zwaar trainen, dan heb je krampen tot achter je oren. Ik weet wel dat je die rek langer moet aanhouden theoretisch, maar het is ook een beetje ervaring. I sleep massive amounts of hours a night. The shortest nights I have are 8 hours. I try to aim to be as close to 10 hours as possible. My main source of iron is iron. When I go on altitude, I just supplement my iron. I try to have a lot of greens, a lot of green vegetables. They contain some iron. People say when you don't have meat, you might have a lack of iron, but in my case, that's really not any problem. If you eat balanced, you don't have to supplement too much. My best VO2 max is 92, something like that. And my best FTP was 400 watts with 67 kilograms. I think that's about 5.9 watts per kilogram. I rarely run because I have a lot of injuries when I'm running, so I don't stress my body with doing running. Yeah, just as I say. No more questions coming up. What's wrong? So my best VO2 max was 92, but my best VO2 max ever measured was 92, but it's super high, but it's also depending on the calibration of the machine that is measuring your VO2 max. I know riders that never measured the VO2 max over 70 and still won World Tour races. There is no VO2 max, no race ever won or no World Tour prize for the highest VO2 max. Is just a guy that finishes the race, crosses the line the first, or has the fastest time in his time trial that wins the race. I do always, I had a test of my blood yesterday. I don't yet have the results. I always do testing on vitamin B12 and folium because they say it's important because you, especially vitamin B12, you don't actually, because we're eating too hygienically, we don't have vitamin B12 when we eat vegan. But I'm never low in vitamin B12. I even was, with my latest blood result, I was close to the upper limit in vitamin B12. I started first with triathlon. So I used to be a swimmer, then I went to a triathlon school in Belgium. And then because of a lot of running injuries, I started to do some cycling racing. And of course, my triathlon coach also coached me for my cycling races. Sorry, I had a problem. So my triathlon coach coached me for my cycling races. He's still my coach at this point. He's my coach for over 10 years right now.
So he's getting demotivated now.
Roald, you get more power by riding the bike more if your legs start to hurt at a certain point and you're not out of sugar and your heart rate is not suffering, or it's just because you have a lack of fitness. Just ride the bike more.
That's what I can do.
I don't train crazy like sorry, I farted a little bit. Sometimes I forget you can hear everything. That's another fart. Sorry for that. I'm only human, but I can ride 55k in 1 hour, so a special human. But
Deze man.
How many? Like today, it's only 3 hours. I did some sober ride with my training mask, and now I go out and I will smash it. I will really smash it. 5 times 1 minute, all out. Will be blood in the throat, and will be suffering like hell. No, I don't worry about my weight at all. As I said, I try a different diet now. I try like a sugar diet. Seems not really what people would expect, but you have to try different things. I don't really gain that much weight, but I don't want to gain. Like now, I'm only 2 kilograms over race weight, so now I'm only 2 kilograms over race weight. That's not too much. I don't worry. I've done a lot with beetroot juice, but I did not see any significant effects. Not so difficult to stay motivated. I just try to enjoy my trainings. I don't do crazy trainings at this time because it's still a long time from now. Training on Zwift is really good and interesting, but you have to combine it with riding outside if you're allowed to, of course. But training on Zwift is super efficient because you pedal all the time. How many watts did I get in my first year of cycling? How many watts? What? Watts?
What?
Antwerpen, zit maar voet en wal. De code van het staat geldt hier overal. Van de boulevard tot aan de blauwe steen. Geldt diezelfde wet voor iedereen. Antwerpen, de plek waar dat wij samen zijn. Maakt niet uit of dat je Belg bent of Marokkaan. Yes, I shower cold because of Wim Hof. And just try it yourself. Do cold showers. Makes you feel alive. You feel so fresh after a cold shower. And I have to say, I have not taken a cold shower since beginning of December. A hot shower since the beginning of December. It's you get used. Long VO2 max effort. If you want to increase your VO2 max, it always maximum 6 minutes efforts. Maximum 6 minutes. Even a lot shorter. The shorter it is, the more you can push your VO2 max. You have to think. There are a lot of questions coming in now because a lot of questions, really interesting. Subscribe and like to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like to the channel because I'm dropping out soon. Might come back in the afternoon. You never know. You never know what you're gonna get. Maybe comment to this video, yes or no. Do you like this video to stay tuned on the channel? Is it interesting to get this live video as a video just in my normal feed of the channel, or you just prefer to get more real videos in the feed? Just say yes or no. About VO2 max efforts, the efforts have to be short. If you think VO2 max, what is VO2 max? VO2 max is the maximum amount of oxygen that can be used by your muscles. So to have a really high VO2 max is you have to be breathing super heavily. And if you do a long effort, you will never be like this. And this is when you push your VO2 max. So when you have a real short effort and you really feel like you're breathing super heavily, that's when you're pushing the VO2 max. And what I like is when you have a real high intensity effort with some recovery after, and the intensity of the effort was this high that in the recovery you're still like this at an easy pace. That's when you are using the VO2 max to wash away the lactate, and that's when you really are increasing your VO2 max. What they say, long VO2 max efforts or 30-15, 40-20, 30-30, all these things, they are not efforts that improve your VO2 max, they are just efforts that make you efficient at your certain VO2 max. So if you want to become a better cyclist, you have to do short intensity efforts with long recuperation. If you are already a good cyclist and you want to perform well, you can do 30-15, 20-40, 40-20, 30-30, all these kind of things. Okay, I hope everybody liked this. I got a message from Gasparotto, he wants to call. So I'll give him a call. Ciao, ciao, Chalkes Bikes. Aitor, I just quickly answer your question. What you read about 30-15s is super interesting, and I'm happy you read studies, but studies are done on non-professional cyclists. They are most of the time done on students that ride a bike 3 times a week and are busy partying. And the studies are over 2 weeks' time. So, of course, when they just train, whatever test they will do, they will perform on their VO2 max. But if you are a professional cyclist and you already have a good level of stamina, things are differently.